Dear activists, across the UK, we are facing a wave of burglaries of our homes, gangs beating us up, gangsters kidnapping us from the street and snatching our mobiles. These attackers have something in common. They are all police. Police are committing the crimes. We are being intimidated by the police. We don't feel safe in the street, outside the court, not in our homes, not even at the Quakers meeting house. While the Met Police arrested us for daring to protest outside the BBC on the pretext that a few streets away there was a synagogue. Yet, not only the police didn't protect the Quakers meeting house, but it was the Met which violently battered in its door, arresting the courageous youth demand. The main danger to our safety is the police and the Zionists who are being protected by the police. Yesterday, I was supposed to face the police at this Islington police station for its accusation of intimidating witnesses. But as we are all witnesses of the Israeli genocide of Gaza, it is the police who is guilty of intimidating witnesses. To intimidate us, the police are using arbitrary arrest, arbitrary bail conditions as punishment weapons even before we are charged, let alone convicted. While we are campaigning against the Israeli terrorism against the Palestinian, the Met used UK terrorism legislation to strip us from our rights so they can interrogate us under duress, like any notorious dictatorship. While no one of us is charged with any actual terrorist act, the police failed to take any action against those who actually committed terrorist attacks at the service of the Zionist state, Israel. The courageous activists, the Islington 18, have been incarcerated for more than 8 months under terrorism powers for opposing genocide. They are not even accused of terrorism. In this Orwellian UK, the Islington 18 are accused of damaging weapons manufactured in the UK to be used for actual terrorist attacks by Israel, murdering and maiming mostly children and women as well as men. They are not only denied their freedom without trial, but their rights in prison are violated to deliberately harm their mental and physical health. I remind the police that the UK regime is under the obligation to prevent the Israeli genocide in Gaza. The most dedicated people to uphold international law and implement the UK obligation to prevent the genocide are Palestine Action. On the other hand, it is the police and the UK regime who protect Elbit. The arming of the genocide by Starmer and Lamy, with Attorney General Richard Hermer giving it false legal veneer, makes them all guilty of failing their obligation to prevent genocide. So, criminally involved in facilitating the genocide, Hermer ordered to charge Richard Barnard, co-founder of Palestine Action, under terrorism, despite no accusation of any terrorist acts, while Hermer took no action against those who participated in the Israeli terrorist attacks on Palestinians. Under Hermer, the UK government gave special immunity to the Israeli military delegation in command of the very terrorist attacks amounting to genocide, including Major General Oded Besyuk, who were welcomed at the Ministry of Defense in January 2025. In the same month, in January 2025, I was arrested twice. On 3rd January 2025, I delivered my speech at the IJAN, International Jewish Anti-Zionist Network, weekly protest, which demands the ambassador for terrorist Israel will be investigated for inciting to genocide the Palestinians and be expelled from the UK. But instead of investigating Hoteveli, the police arrested me for speaking out against the ambassador of Nazi Israel. The Met Police choose the side of the genocide against justice. Even worse, my arrest by the Met Police was on false pretenses. The Met Police inspector made a false statement that he heard the words, accusing me of words which I didn't say. Despite him admitting my speech was captured on body-worn video. The arresting officer quoted these words when she arrested me as the reason for my arrest, and she can be heard in the video of my arrest. The inspector's false statement amounts to perverting the course of justice that led to me being wrongly arrested and led to me being investigated, and despite being innocent, I might be charged and potentially even be convicted and sent to prison. The police know his statement was a lie, as throughout the interrogation it was never repeated. Even worse, based on his false accusation, the inspector falsely accused me of intentional, racially abusive and had been insulting comments. I accused the Met Police inspector of anti-Jewish racism, which is commonly called anti-Semitism. While I stated Nazi Israel, referring to my country of birth, which is genocide in the 2.4 million Palestinians in Gaza, the inspector equated Jews with Israel, exposing his racism against Jews. His racist equation asserts that all Jews support apartheid, genocidal Israel, and thus logically are responsible for the crimes, as well as the racist implication that the loyalty of all Jews in the UK is to foreign country Israel. As an anti-Zionist Jew, I found the inspector's accusation being intentional, racially abusive, and had been insulting comments towards me, as well as towards the people who participated in the IJAN protest. Therefore, the inspector should be investigated for wasting police time, perverting the course of justice, and racism against Jews, as well as causing alarm and distress to the protester against the genocide inside the Israeli ambassador, who were horrified seeing the large police force attacking me. Instead, after 3 months, the Met declared it needed more time to so-called investigate my 20 minutes speech. Not satisfied with its imprisonment of me on false pretext, 2 weeks later, on 17 January, the Met forced entry into my home without arrest warrant, arrested me and stole my phone. The Met Police accused me of witness intimidation. I guess the Met referred to the disguised Zionists with face covers who, with a nod of finger pointing, have been determining our fate to be bundled and violated by the obedient Met Police. Have I intimidated these Zionists who are happy for Palestinian prisoners to face daily, who are happy for Palestinian children to face daily bombardment and all the worst horrors Elbit and other sickly terrorist minds invent. To date, the police have not disclosed what evidence, if any, was given by the alleged witnesses. And the Met still refuse to disclose the name of the witnesses, or so-called witnesses, I'm accused of intimidating. If they give false evidence, like the inspector, the Met should be investigating them for racism and perverting the course of justice. The Met secrecy is even more bizarre, as it claims no complaints from members of the public had been received. Does the Met refer to the Zionists surrounding the weekly Iron protest as members of the public, and or as assets of the police, and or assets of the Israeli embassy or the Mossad? What is the relationship between the Met and the people who are celebrating when we are violently attacked by the police? Indeed, months before my arrest, I saw in the video of dozens of police swarming into the Iron protest and knocking me down to the pavement. A man smirking with extreme sadistic pleasure. I was astounded to find out he was a KC in the name Jonathan Cohen. The KC follows the weekly Iron protest, but on 27 March, he appeared at the Old Bailey for the Solidarity with Filton 18 protest. In the video, the KC seems to target Yusuf Wasim, a victim of the Met Police brutality, choosing to stand very close to Wasim. The KC conduct looks suspicious. Then the KC went to the city police to complain against Wasim. Needless to say, how helpful it would have been to the Met if Wasim was arrested by another police force. Indeed, subsequent to making the complaint, Wasim was snatched by the city police. Wasim was justly de-arrested, thanks to the steadfastness of the activists who put their lives at risk to protect Wasim. But his very arrest is exposing police corruption. Without any investigation of the evidence, including police witnesses, Wasim was subjected again to the trauma of being surrounded by police and had his liberty taken away. Actually, a serious crime might have been committed, but will the police investigate the possible attempt to pervert the course of justice? The video appeared to show the allegation the KC might have made against Wasim to the police officers could well have been false. Nevertheless, this led to the innocent, wonderful activist Wasim being wrongly arrested, and could have led to this innocent man being investigated, charged, and potentially even being convicted and sent to prison. Yesterday, 3 months after the Met considered it had to urgently violate my liberty and kidnap me from home, it postponed again its own chosen date, obliging me to attend this very police station. Leaving us in limbo is another police oppressive tool. The Met insists on retaining the bail condition of not contacting directly or indirectly person unknown. Today, I am facing interrogation under caution for daring to speak out about an organization called Chabad. Chabad, some people think it's pronounced wrongly. So let me start with the group Kahana Chai Kach, which was declared in 1994 a terrorist organization and was made illegal even in Israel. A few years earlier, in 1988, in Tel Aviv, my father, who was born in Nazi Germany, was attacked by Kach, who told him, "Shame the Nazis didn't finish you off." So I know what anti-Jewish racism is, or what is commonly called anti-Semitism. Kach and Chabad are very close in the spreading of hate against the Palestinian, attacking Palestinian, especially their vicious attacks on the Palestinian in the occupied West Bank. They're very, very notorious, terrorizing Palestinians. It is perverse and malicious to accuse me of religiously aggravated harassment of Chabad, given the organization it is. It is courageous, it is outrageous for a publicly funded body, the police, to act as the private police and lawyer for an international organization which brags and promotes its involvement in violation of international law. The police had already harassed me previously when I tried to raise awareness about the true nature of Chabad, while it condoned the attacks against me by Chabad and their supporters. So keen the police were to serve Chabad and its supporters, including the thugs who harassed the people who were reading my leaflet. In 2023, the police threatened me with arrest for leafleting on the pavement next to the public space Islington Green. Islington Green is really just a few minutes walk from here. While I was in custody on 3rd January 2025, the police arrested me for my single person protest. This is in addition to arresting me for my speech. While I was already it was not this station, while I was inside the station, they also came to me and said, "And now we're arresting you about Chabad." So for my single person protest a week earlier on 26 December 2024. The accusations were so preposterous, I laughed reading this in my cell. They wrote, "Verbally abused rabbi at Palestinian protest," a single person, calling him fascist, pro-settlers and Chabad, which the victim perceived to be racial. But even the police realized how ridiculous it was to accuse calling a Chabad rabbi Chabad and to consider that as racial. So they dropped the entire Chabad allegation even before my interrogation the next day on 4 January. On the issue of settlements, Chabad Lubavitch calls and participate in creating illegal settlements all over Palestine, including Gaza, and explicitly say international law should be ignored. Today, I face equally ridiculous allegations, including religiously aggravated harassment towards Rabbi Mendy Korer and the Chabad organization, making accusation against the Chabad organization and approaching members of the public, trying to influence their views on the organization. Dear me. We'll hand out flyers, I hope you all have flyers, regarding the Chabad organization, these are the actual flyers I gave on the day, stating they are supporters of genocide. You know, I like to say somebody is supporting genocide even if they support genocide. The police is attempting to impose their prejudices against any political views critical of Zionism, Zionist Israel, Zionist group and Zionist individual, and criminalize legitimate publication of evidence of Zionist crimes and leafleting about this. Even the Charity Commission had to issue a warning against Chabad Lubavitch after it fundraised for Israeli soldiers. On the issue of racism, the experience of a black Jew from New York, the racism he experienced and witnessed in Chabad caused him deep mental anguish, and he found that he could no longer surround himself with racists and the enablers of racists. His trust in the Jewish community has been ended. On the issue of genocide, for example, Chabad promotes the genocide book, The King's Torah, which calls to kill Palestinian babies and children. Chabad rabbis told Netanyahu that Israel has the right to bomb Al-Shifa hospital. Chabad has been inciting to kill Palestinian babies and children, as expressed by Manis Friedman, representing the Chabad. This is a quote. "I don't believe in Western morality, i.e. don't kill civilians or children, don't destroy holy sites, don't fight during holiday season, don't bomb cemeteries, don't shoot until they shoot first. It is immoral. Immoral to protect human rights. The only way to fight a moral war," this is back to the quotation, "is the Jewish way. Destroy the holy site, kill men, women, and children, and cattle. With their holy sites destroyed, they will stop believing that God is on their side." It's so malicious, it's so vicious. Chabad bragged about participating in the genocide of Gaza, with Israeli tanks flying the Chabad flag. And Chabad, which is here, this is a photo of it, and Chabad rabbis, together with both secular Chabad and Chabad soldiers, and stealing the Palestinian home in Gaza, which they covered with a large banner, Chabad House Gaza. On the issue of expansionism, Chabad Lubavitch calls to occupy Lebanon and Syria and create illegal settlements there, and they are involved in doing just that. So thank you all the activists for your steadfast support for the Palestinians and your tireless campaign to stop the genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza by terrorist Israel. In the face of UK police violence and arbitrary arrest. Under protest, I am attending the Islington Police Station, but during this political interrogation, I will remain silent. Thank you.
Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Plenty of time. So it is amazing the steadfastness that all our protesters, all the activists are not giving up. And I forgot to include in my speech, and I will add it now. The police and the UK regime cannot understand how come after so much brutality they use against us, so much arbitrary arrest and violation of our basic rights, and we don't stop. Because what they don't understand is that we know that we are fighting against genocide, and that is our strength. That is why we never be silenced. And it's not in vain that we say, one, we are the people. We won't be silenced. Three, stop the bombing now, 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 now. This is our strength, and they will never break us. Whatever measures, whatever violation of any of our rights, whatever they will do, we will carry on fighting for Palestine. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free!
Palestine!
From the repeat!
Palestine!
Free, free!
This is Yusuf Wasim.
Can't get the image out of my heart. When we've seen the bodies found in a mountain of parts. Netanyahu told you just another child in the dark. Clear it's gonna take much more than thousands to march. More than a speech, more than a poem, more than a track of music. Gonna take more than to sit down with Bassem Youssef.
Do you know anything about my lawyer?
And how long do you think you will be inside? So?
No idea. No idea. They can do anything they want.
But did they not give you an idea?
No,
No?
no, no. All I know is what initially they just dropped a letter. Two police hand-delivered the letter saying that I need to attend the police today at 10 o'clock. They didn't, I had no idea what was it about. And then my lawyer found out that it was about Chabad. I couldn't believe it. Again, they were trying again to accuse me about Chabad. And so that's all I know is all this pathetic accusation that I leafleted and I spoke to people and tried to influence. I mean, the wording. How can anybody who is allegedly trying to impose the law, to enforce the law, would even put those words that it's a crime to try to influence people's views on a terrorist group or on anybody? Because we as humans have the right to influence, to speak to people and influence their views. This is human interaction about anything. The fact that they even dare to put that in writing and accuse me of the crime of leafleting. Now you all seen that leaflets? They are just pure informative. The information about why Chabad is not then the group that it is projecting, and which throughout London, including very close to my home at Islington Green, they are given this public space where they are celebrating the crimes. This is what that organization is. The people who come there are their supporters. It's nothing to do with the Jewish festive of Hanukkah and the lighting of the menorah. Because as I've written on my poster and the leaflet, well, why not choose a different group? Why of all the group, they have Chabad doing it. Chabad doing the menorah. Chabad should be kicked out of London. They are racist. They are spreading racism. All the crimes are already mentioned. How come we are in London and Islington Council is giving them the space, but it's not only Islington, it's across London. Why this group is getting such privileges? So I don't know. They might say I'm a danger to society because I still speak against Chabad and I try to influence your views about Chabad. I hope I did. Anybody? So you never know what they'll do for how long.
Too kind to them. I think they're much worse than you ever said. I think you're being too kind and tolerant.
Honestly, Thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I could tell a story. Okay, go on. I heard that this organisation many years ago, I better start at the beginning. Jewish boys are circumcised when they're 8 days old, and the British law says that there has to be somebody who is a qualified surgeon who does the circumcision. These people, some of their rabbis, bite off the foreskin. They don't take any precautions, they don't do anything. So that may seem like nothing, but unfortunately one rabbi at the time of AIDS had another secret side to him. And when this rabbi bit off the foreskin of this young person, this 8-day baby died. The little baby caught AIDS and died. And what did they do? They shipped him out to Israel, and so he was anonymous. Nothing was done. That is the power of this awful, awful organisation. That's all I wanted to say.
Shame.
Free Palestine, free Palestine.
And you missed it, my brother. Yeah, but you got a mention as well.
Thank you, thank you. Yael Kahn is a very good friend. Guys, Yael Kahn is a very good friend, comrade, and a sister. An elderly lady, Jewish activist that supported Palestine for over 40 years, consistently. You know, we all need to support everybody that's turned up. Thank you so much. I totally understand what she's going through, as I've also been brutalised and attacked by the Met Police on 3 occasions. So I totally understand what Yael's going through. And it's important that we don't give up. We support every activist, every single person who's standing on the right side of history, who's supporting the oppressed people. So every one of you souls out there that's here, thank you so much, honestly, thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
No more killing, no more lies!
No more killing, no more lies!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Ha! From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
In our millions, in our billions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our millions, in our billions!
We are all Palestinians!
And this is my favourite one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state!
Thank you guys. Israel is a terror state. The modern state of Israel is a terrorist state. Thank you so much. Hey, how are you?
How you doing, sir? Right. Fucking northern one. So it was stopped at Camden.
Really? Oh, you know, I'm so glad I decided not to go in.
Some fucking idiot, one of these podcaster types, right?
Yeah.
Camden Station. Oh, wow. This is terrible.
Hey.
So, John, can you tell us a little bit about Yael? I mean, she's, crossing the saying that she has been supporting the Palestinian cause for 40 years or something. What do you know about Yael for people who don't know her?
To be honest, I don't know Yael that well. I've met her on the street on protests, perhaps in the last year or 15 months. I know she's Israeli and born and brought up there. I understand in a Zionist family, although I might be wrong about that, but I think she went to Gaza and saw what was happening, and that was the beginning of quite a rapid transformation and a change to opposing Zionism and becoming an anti-Zionist Jew. And you've all seen for yourselves how strong she is, how determined she is, and how absolutely committed she is to the cause of freedom and equality and liberation of the Palestinians. And she's an inspiration to all of us. We all take great heart and great courage from her persistence, her resilience, and so on.
So, when she's talking about Chabad, she's talking about, to be clear, she's talking about Chabad Lubavitch. Is it the same thing? How much do you know about?
Again, I'm not an authority, but they are a very right-wing, very Zionist organization. In fact, they're Zionist revisionists. And that is the worst, most reactionary, most racist tendency within Zionism. They believe in Greater Israel, as Yael said a few minutes ago, not just within the confines of the current Israeli state, but expanding into Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and so on. And, you know, expansionist colonies, settler colonies, are never static. It is never enough. They always have to kill people, always have to expand territory, and so on and so forth. And so, you know, Chabad is you know, a very good example of that tendency. And unfortunately, today, from being a very peripheral, marginal tendency within Israel 20, 30 years ago, they are now the dominant force in politics. Within the parliament, that political tendency, and within the population at large. And this is why the problem is so intractable. That, you know, Israeli society supports the genocide. You know, not everybody, but the great majority. And Chabad is the you know, manifestation of that and the expression of it.
On that, so they were founded in 1774, but their premise is that they're about compassion, kindness and community. What do you think about those views that they're supposed to be taken forward into the world?
Well, they always say this, don't they, the Zionists? They always say they're for peace and, you know, everybody else is wrong and they are the aggressors and they just want peace with their neighbours and so on. I mean, all oppressors say the same thing. It's just nonsense. You judge people by their actions. You judge governments and regimes by their actions. And what Israel is doing, based on the ideology of groups like Chabad, is very clear for the whole world to see. We all see it. And it is only the political elites in the West who are supporting them. The mass of the people don't. We know this.
As you say, they've got a growing influence, and in actual fact, they're based in Brooklyn. That's where they're headquartered now. Successive Israeli prime ministers always visit, when they're over there in New York, visit them, and they take, you know, their cues basically from Chabad.
Yeah, it's like paying homage. It's like, you know, you have to pay homage to certain political tendencies to maintain your credibility with your base. So they do that.
I think we're now, as you say, they're expanding into Syria. They're now in the Golan Heights, aren't they?
Beyond the Golan Heights.
Beyond that, yes.
Mount Hermon. They're very close to Damascus now. They've told the proxy Syrian regime, these Wahhabi death squads, that they want no military presence at all south of Damascus. So, you know, Syria is being completely broken up, and it's a non-viable state. They're there. Lebanon, who knows how long the peace is going to hold, or the ceasefire, so-called. You know, almost certainly the war will break out there again. Iran is, you know, very much in the firing line now, and you know, the situation is very, very dangerous.
To make it clear to our viewers, because we're live streaming this, Chabad, although influential and growing in influence, is not representative of Jews in general, and in Israel, even in Israel itself, only around 50% of Jews in Israel are actually religious Jews, just to make that point clear. So we're not saying that, it's a predominant view amongst Jews, but sure, it is very influential, not just in Israel, but around the world. Is it strange that the police seem to be protecting this ideology, whereas if it was a Muslim group, for example, that was supporting atrocities elsewhere in the world, they might take a completely different approach?
No, absolutely, of course. And I think this is the crux of the matter for us here in Britain. The government and all its institutions and authorities have a clear agenda, and that is to only listen to pro-Zionist Jewish voices and to completely marginalize and try and silence anti-Zionist Jewish voices like ourselves in IJAN. And, to the extent that we never get a hearing, we never, only on alternative media like Crispin Flintoff's show and others, do we get a voice. Because it destroys the narrative. What the Israeli government is doing and what the pro-Zionist groups and interests are doing is to say that all Jews support Israel, all Jews support the genocide. And when there are Jewish voices that counteract that, it shatters that whole narrative. What they want to turn it into is a religious conflict. And it's not a religious conflict, it's a political conflict. The root of the problem is the settler colony in Palestine, driven by the Zionist ideology. And we are determined to keep talking out about it and exposing it for what it is. The other important point to make here is that by doing this, it is the greatest recruiting sergeant of all for anti-Semitism. Because people are reaching the conclusion, because they hear that all Jews support this, they say, oh, well, the Jews are doing it. And quite rightly, they are outraged by the genocide. And so there's a huge danger of anti-Semitism really growing. And we're all being labeled with this. And that is another reason why the voice of anti-Zionist Jews is so important. And, I hasten to add, not only us, but all of our allies, the many people here today, also have an anti-Zionist perspective. And that's really important. And it's so important that the wider public understands these distinctions. But there's another point I want to make, and that is there is growing authoritarianism in this country, across Europe, and obviously in the United States. This issue of Palestine and the issue of Palestine and the protests and Zionism is the vehicle for the growth in authoritarianism. They are using this to clamp down on our protests, and that means clamping down on all protests. If they're going to do it to us, who next? Everybody's next. The trade unions are going to find it a whole lot harder going out on strike. This is the dress rehearsal. Well, it's not really a dress rehearsal. This is the first phase. You know the famous old poem from World War II, first they came for the communists, but I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I didn't speak out, I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Well, here today, we can update that to say, first they came for the Palestinians, and then the supporters of Palestinians, and then the anti-Zionist Jews, and then it will be the trade unionists, and then disabled people, and gay rights, and all our rights and freedoms. And that's why I think it's so important that the general population in this country wakes up to this threat. You may not care greatly about Palestine, although the great majority of people in this country are horrified by this genocide. But you may not see it as an issue important enough to come on a demonstration and campaign and speak out like we do. But please, this is an appeal to the people of this country. Speak up. This is the beginning of a protest that's going to touch everybody. And one day it will be you or your loved ones. And by then it will be too late because our freedoms will be swept aside. We won't have the European Convention on Human Rights, Articles 9, 10 and 11 to rely on. They will be set aside. There will be legislation saying they don't apply. The police are supposed to balance our rights. They're supposed to protect the law. Our rights to protest are not being protected. They're being undermined and attacked by the police in collusion with the Zionists who are getting together with right-wing, ultra-right forces. And it's a grave threat to all of us.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Just before I get interviewed, folks, there is another demonstration, just in case people don't know, in support of another of our activists down in at Holborn Police Station. It's at 10:30, so it's already started. But anybody who can get down there and support would be great.
Explain who the protest is for.
Okay, it's for the chair of the Muslim Association of Britain, called Raghad Atikriti. He's called in for a police interview, just like a lot of us are being, as activists. Pardon?
It's for people arrested yesterday.
It's it's that's the emergency one. Yeah.
It's not yesterday.
This is for January 18th.
No. This
Muslim Association of Britain.
They called in the chair, yes, to be interviewed with January 18th when the police let through a load of activists and then quite literally charged us with all their rubbish. It's the same story. They're the police have an agenda to criminalise the protests, and they've gone after a lot of women in particular. One of our sisters is up in court, the magistrates' court at Highbury in Islington this coming Tuesday, the 22nd. For nothing, for absolutely nothing. They invent the stories against us, and as Yael said, their aim is to absolutely destroy our resistance, and it's not happening. So they come up with more and more spurious attacks on us and accusations, when it's really, as everybody has said, the Zionists lying through their teeth. If you can say that there's no genocide when women and children are dying in their thousands in Palestine, and you're just oblivious of it, what kind of human being is that? Who thinks like that? Nobody I know can possibly. We go to sleep and try to sleep, and it's on our minds 24/7 that this slaughter is happening. And that is the reason we come out at every single action that is called in the defense of the Palestinian resistance. And that is our duty, living right here in one of the belly of the beasts. That's what we have to do. And nothing as far as I know is going to stop me and the people who've come together in a way that they never expected us to come together. They expected us to all melt away. And we haven't. We've grown, not only in this country, but internationally. And we intend to win with the Palestinian people, their freedom, their liberation, which is our freedom and our liberation.
Free Palestine! Come on. Settlers, go back home!
let's go back home.
Palestine is not your home.
Palestine is not your home.
Donald Trump, go to hell.
Donald Trump, go to hell.
Palestine is not for sale.
Palestine is not for sale.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
Palestine will live forever.
Palestine will live forever.
In our millions, in our billions.
In our own Palestinians.
We are all
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 Palestinians.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Generally they can.
Oh gosh. Oh, what shall I say?
Anything you like? Why are you here this morning?
Okay, I'm from Women of Color in the Global Women's Strike, and we're here to support Yael Kahn, who's been one of the most outspoken and active Jewish anti-Zionists, and it's really important that Jewish people are speaking out against the crimes and the genocide in Palestine. That is really what's needed in order to lift up the Palestinian people and make clear what is happening. This is carnage like we have never seen. Women and children are the most impacted. They're the first impacted. There's a reproductive genocide that's going on, and that is why we're here, to defend the Palestinian people and also to defend ourselves, because the Palestinian lives are our lives. Their children are our children. Their mothers are our mothers. So we're here in the name of all humanity. And as others have said, we will not go away. We will not be silent. We will not be complicit. We'll call out the government here for selling arms and arming Israel, and also we'll call out Trump's government. How dare they? How dare they back Netanyahu's crimes? So we won't be silent, and we'll keep on. We're with millions around the world, millions and billions. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine. Thank you.
Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
Well, she was coming out, but they've diverted her to another room just here. I saw her come in when she went to the room. It might be an interview room.
Yes. Yeah.
Let her out. Let her go. 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 Sorry, tangled. Tangled. Oops.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Hopefully she'll be out soon. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Yeah. Too early.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Solidarity.
Which press are you from?
Chris McClintock show.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
Hopefully they'll throw it out. I'm praying.
So we're live streaming at the moment.
Sorry.
We're live streaming at the moment.
Oh.
And you're from?
Nurses for Free Palestine.
Ah, that's. And do you want to say anything about why you're involved in supporting the Palestine cause and why you're here this morning?
Well, I'm a retired nurse, and with thousands and thousands of nurses around the country, we're supporting Palestine because one of the attacks they're making, one of the parts of the genocide, is to attack healthcare workers. And there are thousands of nurses who've been, well, as well as doctors and all healthcare workers who've been attacked. You know, they've just bombed and flattened the last working hospital there in Gaza. So there is no healthcare. So this is, you know, so people can't get treated for, you know, for illnesses and for when, you know, when people have been bombed, you know, whatever injuries they have. So it's just terrible. And we also want the, you know, the Israeli nurses to come out against the bombing. And we are, you know, we're going to be going to the Royal College of Nursing Congress next month. And the Royal College of Nursing has done well. They have come out against the ceasefire 3 times already this year, but we want them to press harder. And if we want them to press that if the Israeli nurses, you know, to press the international nurses to say that if the Israeli nurses don't come out against Gaza, then they risk being thrown out of the International Nursing Association. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Anyway, we're going to go to the Royal College of Nursing Congress.
What do you think about the treatment of Dr. Sui-Yang and the BMA recently?
It's terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. But the BMA is just not standing up for healthcare workers in the way, and the doctor. There are many doctors who've been attacked. So many doctors. But you want to speak to Dr. Jonathan Fluxman.
Yeah. And
yes.
so do you know recently there was a vote, paediatricians and almost 154 paediatricians voted against a motion essentially supporting the slaughter of children in Gaza.
And the paediatricians came out against that. Well, I should think so.
Well, not all of them. 154 didn't actually. They were in support of the continuing slaughter of children.
154 paediatricians?
Yes.
Yes, well, we know we can't trust doctors. You know, after the Holocaust, we know that it was doctors who helped get the gas chambers going. You know, we know that. So we know we can't trust doctors.
And yet we see Dr. Sui-Yang being censored, yet these doctors are not being censored at all.
Well, they should be prosecuted. I mean, it's outrageous and thrown out of their jobs. I mean, how can paediatricians press for a motion that is pressing for the continuing slaughter of children? I mean, it's just what we've known. You know, we just can't trust them. But we're going to win. Yeah. We're going to win. That slaughter of children has to end. It's going to end. It will end. But we have all around the world to continue to stand up and come out against these Zionists who are behind all this. It's just outrageous. They are completely outrageous. Anyway, we're glad to be here supporting Yael Kahn.
Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Free Palestine, honk your horn.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Places where I grew up. I was growing up on the station. It's not never went to Oxford. It's strange.
He's dying and quite busy.
No, you're all right. Yeah, you whatever. Yeah, go on. Okay. Hello, young lady. Are you in Women of Colour in the Global Women's Strike? Okay.
Palestine! Oh, you got Palestine song on.
So he's going to ask me the questions.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Yeah.
Forever!
So what, could Lisa? Yeah, with all the hair. That's good. Anyway, I can point her out. Yeah.
Gaza, we love you, Gaza!
No idea they were, yeah.
Realise it would have gone.
Yeah.
From the river to the sea.
Anyway, he came to London and then.
All right, go on. Go on.
Right, so can you tell us why you're here this morning?
I'm here because Yael, who's in there being interrogated by the cops, keeps on getting arrested. She isn't charged. She's not put before a court, but they keep on arresting her, locking her up like sometimes overnight, and it's just harassment of people who support the Palestinians. Should stop.
So why do you think they keep doing this? And picking on certain individuals?
I've been arrested. Many people here have been arrested. It's just harassment. They want us to stop campaigning, standing up for Palestine. But when there's a genocide going on, you gotta stand up and be counted. This country sells arms to Israel. We've got a responsibility. We're complicit in that genocide. It needs to stop. It needs to stop now.
And what's your message to the Labour government?
My message to the Labour government is you're an absolute disgrace. You're meant to believe in international law. You're meant to believe in UN resolutions. You're meant to believe in the Geneva Convention. There's a genocide convention. Why Starmer is still selling arms to Israel, I don't know. He needs to be arrested. He needs to be put before a court. It's an absolute disgrace. We're doing nothing to help the Palestinians. Bombs are dropping on them right now. They're being starved. It's meant to be a war crime. If you starve a population, food has been cut off, water's been cut off, electricity's been cut off, they've got no medical supplies. It's an absolute disgrace.
But why do you think that the people who are actually supporting, actively supporting, verbally supporting, maybe financing the genocide in Gaza, they don't get any accountability? They're not the ones that are being interviewed, being called for an interview. They're not the ones being put.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm afraid it's good old-fashioned imperialism. Europe and America see as this is a colony for them, a European colony in Palestine. To them, brown, black lives don't count. They don't even think we're human, I don't think.
Is that the same with the media, like, BBC,
well, I'll give you one easy example, right, that people will understand. Look at the way we treat Ukraine and what Russia is doing in Ukraine, right? Every time a bomb or a missile drops in Ukraine, we say, 5 children have been killed or a granny's been killed. And look at how we treat Palestine. Do we bring Palestinians here for medical treatment? We bring like thousands and thousands of Ukrainians here, but we don't treat Palestinian refugees in the same way, or Palestinians who need medical treatment. They're just left to die.
So why is that?
It's good old-fashioned colonialism, isn't it? It's imperialism.
Racism.
Europe has got a racist... They still believe in white supremacy, don't they? That's why Ukrainians get treated in a certain way, and Palestinians or people in Sudan or people in Congo get treated a completely different way.
And doesn't that link up to what Yael is actually leafleting and trying to persuade people about in terms of this organization, Chabad, that does actually believe in a type of supremacy?
Yeah, when it comes down to it, we're fighting white supremacy, and all those empires that we thought were gone, really, they're still carrying on in a way, being led by the Americans. And the British blindly, stupid people like Starmer follow Trump without being critical, without trying to analyse things, without thinking about, what's the long-term future of this? Where's it all going to end? Do I really care about international law, United Nations, the Geneva Convention on Genocide? Because it's all broken down now. When it comes to Palestine, nothing You know, there's no law. You know, we're not going to put sanctions against Israel. We're not going to stop trading with them. We're not going to throw the ambassador out. But history will judge, you know.
2025 and they're allowing.
So you have hope.
I've always got hope. You gotta have hope. You know, not so long ago, people were fighting against the British, so-called British Empire all over the world, and the British committed, you know, numerous atrocities in Kenya, in Yemen, in India, you name it, Nigeria, South Africa. In the end, people won. People got their freedom, and that will happen with America. It will happen with Palestine, but sadly, a lot of people will die before Palestine gets its freedom. We don't really want that.
Thank you very much.
I told him but next door, radio won't be.
I mean, no, obviously it's true.
I was in the pub last night, this bloke came up to me. I haven't, you know, I didn't have time to get shampoo today. I went to bed early. I almost watched the rugby horror film.
But Alexis Hale is alcohol. Yeah. But he's much older than he goes.
Tom Baker was in it, who used to be Doctor Who. Died. I quite like John Firstwood. Blake 7, if you remember Blake 7.
Yeah, I remember Blake 7.
Blake 7.
Yeah, that was my era.
Oh yeah, Steptoe is up, yeah. I'm 65. I'll get me bus pass this year. July, I think. I didn't watch it.
Where your mother was buried. And then
Free Palestine!
But also, I know
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Settlers, go back home!
Settlers, go back home!
Palestine is not your home!
Palestine is not your home!
Settlers, go back home!
Settlers, go back home!
Palestine is not your home!
Palestine is not your home!
She's alright. They might stress her out. They might stress her lawyer out as well. Always nice to see you.
Well, they're not going to stress Yael out. On Friday, we might do a boycott pitch in. I forgot. I'll let you know when they take help. Because we did a boycott pitch in Stratford the other day, and well, a couple of Zionists, but they didn't want to stop and talk. But this man said to say hello to you, but I forgot his name now. He was smoking a split.
Okay.
He's going, yeah, he says Yusuf told me all about this. Yeah, and he said he was at Snaresborough.
Okay.
She says they should be learn Israeli dancing. Oh, it was very, yeah. Not very.
Oh, you don't?
I mean, I know her. I know who she is. No, I mean, she's Israeli and yeah.
Not in any great detail.
Oh, 30th, last night Saturday. There might be something outside Downing Street today. It's King's Cross, God.
Palestine will be free!
Well done, Yael.
Can we get a quick update, Yael?
So, we love you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So how did the interview go? Did you say anything?
No. I kept completely silent, including when they pretend they're interested in our welfare, because I know there's a woman who's actually suicidal, and she told them she was suicidal, and they intentionally let her keep her belt. I mean, endangering her. They don't care about our welfare. It's all lies. So I refuse to answer even about welfare. I refuse to answer my name. All I did, I presented myself so that I comply by the letter of the law, and that was it. Nothing else. I said nothing. They even asked me for how long we're going to be here. And that they are bothered because it's a very busy station. You know, they're doing all this arrest of activists. So yes, there will be no answer. It will take weeks before they will tell me. They fabricated some lies and some truths, and of course the basic of our rights are completely violated, as if anything that we do, because we're against the genocide, that makes us on the wrong side of the law. And it is wrong because it is them, it's the police and the UK regime which is on the wrong side of the law. Because they are colluding with the genocide. They're failing. It is their obligation to stand and take action to stop this genocide. But instead, they're arming Israel, they're funding Israel, they're doing propaganda for Israel. And we will continue to fight for the Palestinians until this genocide stops and until Palestine will be free and the Palestinians back to the homeland.
Yeah! Thank you. You're amazing. Oh, I love you so much. We love you, Yael.
Do you have a message for people like youth demands who suffered multiple arrests yesterday, as I understand, and during the last week as well, actually. You know, they're putting their liberty on the line. Do you have a message for people like that?
I so appreciate youth demand. I went to the meeting a week after the police bashed the door of the Quakers meeting house, and I joined the protest as well the following Saturday. But I had to prepare for today, so I really apologize not being with them and possibly arrested with them. But they're amazing. They are determined. They know that they put on the line their freedom, but they know what is at stake. The at stake are the children and the babies and all the population in Gaza who can't survive. Who can't eat. There is no food, there is no water, there is no medicine. The bombing hospitals. There is every terrorism act that one can imagine, every depraved act that one can imagine. Israel is committed in Gaza with the help of Chabad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And shame on the police that they are, because Chabad is Zionist, that's why I am being harassed by the police instead of Chabad.
Did you get a sense that the police understand what Chabad stands for?
No, they don't care. They don't understand, and they don't care. It is a perverse situation where if it's a Zionist group, then whatever they say in the eyes of the police is okay. And we know it, because when a Zionist was doing a slitting a motion against the protester at SOAS, the police standing next to her, they were not bothered. How dare they? When Zionists tell our protester, I can't even say those words, death but what they say, death to the Arab. I mean, and the police hear it and they refuse to take action. When protesters threaten us with booby trap pages, that terrorist
Disgusting.
act. Yes, and the police refuse to take any action. The police, anything fascist Zionists do, anything that racist Zionists do, anything that terrorist Zionists do is acceptable by the police. And any attempt of us to stand up against these atrocities, we are being punished for.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate so much youth demand. But we have so many heroes. We have Youssef is a hero. We have Palestine Action. We have IJAN. We have Filton 18. We have absolutely. We are free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Honk your horn. Honk your horn. Yes. Yeah.
Woo! And the British people support us. Most of the people down and up the country, they support us. It is only the regime that is being on the wrong side of history, which is on the side of the genocide, on the side of the terrorists.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yael. You're amazing. Thank you. You're amazing. We love you. We love you.
Palestine! Free
Palestine!
Free
Palestine!
Free
Palestine!
Woo! And of course, I haven't mentioned the encampment and the students.
Yes, the
but
camps.
we are absolutely spoiled, rotten with heroes.
Oh, thank you.
So everyone,
Doctors and doctors losing their job. Baby, for what?
Yeah, being harassed, suspended.
Yes.
Just because of an allegation.
Yes.
No charge, no trial, nothing.
sorry, I just want to say, this is it. We're coming to the end of the live stream. So I'm sure probably a lot of you already are, but if you can, subscribe to the channel, the Crispin Flintoff Show.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's another hero.
He's our hero. And Yael. Crispin is our hero.
You're always on it.
Yeah, thanks. Crispin Flintoff been showing his amazingly steadfast, despite he is also being abused, his channel is being attacked by the Zionists, and yet he carries on, he doesn't give up. He's really being terrorized. Crispin Finto and you guys, all the people who work on that show, it's an act of terrorism what is done to them, and yet he's steadfast and he carries on with the program. So thank you, Crispin Finto. Free Palestine, and thank you everybody.